Nietzsche describes a madman who runs into a public square shouting, "God is dead, God is dead." And the people don't believe him, and he's laughed at, and he leaves. He came too soon, he says. I came too soon. But the thought here is deeper and more interesting. It's not that Nietzsche said God is dead, something you can find on toilet walls the world over. It's that God is dead, we have killed him. And what Nietzsche means by that, I think, is that the outcome of history is the death of God. We no longer need, or we no longer can believe in those sorts of assurances which theology gave us. Through, let's say through the development of science and technology, we've got ourselves to a position where God is an accessory that we can do without. So it's not that Nietzsche is, as it were, celebrating the death of God. Right? He thinks that God is a pretty bad idea. It makes us cringing, cowardly, submissive creatures. But it doesn't mean that the opposite is something to be celebrated. We shouldn't just celebrate that would lead to sort of nihilism. What Nietzsche's thought is that human history has led to a point where we find the idea of God incredible. We can no longer believe it. And at that point, he says, there's a risk of us throwing up our hands and saying, well, nothing means anything. And that's what Nietzsche calls nihilism. Nietzsche's thought is not nihilistic. This is a key thing. Nietzsche is trying to think a counter-movement to nihilism, and this is what he calls a revaluation of values, or an overcoming of nihilism. So what Nietzsche wants us to do, Nietzsche isn't Nietzsche wants us to reject our usual ways of thinking morally in terms of a new way of conceiving of value that would be in terms of life, ultimately, and the affirmation of life. Something like that.